My name is Blake Schaefer. I'm the owner of LWS. LWS is an accounting firm in Springfield, Ohio, but LWS means so much more than that. So in 2020, I got into disc golf. I had 2 special needs kids at home, one that was very sick, and it was a super great mental health thing for me. I'd go play, I'd come back home just a different person, and I started really getting into wanting to be part of growing the sport. Fast forward to 2022, I met Jason and Adam from the Natty. They started talking to me about sponsoring this event, and they knew my love for disc golf and how much I wanted to be a part of its growth. And so we started meeting and having conversations, and we decided to sponsor Idlewild this year. LWS stands for Landon William Schaefer. Landon passed away on June 24th. He was born with Menkes disease. The doctor told us, yeah, he's only going to live to be 2 to 4 years old, likely. He lived to be 15. He lived literally one of the greatest lives I've ever seen. What made his life so special was he impacted people's lives. So he never spoke a word. He never was able to walk, but every person that met him, they just felt his love, and they were inspired because he had so many things come against him that he could have passed away years ago, but he would fight through and fight through and fight through. And then when people would meet him and hear his story, they'd be like, oh my gosh, the things that I'm dealing with are nothing compared to what Landon deals with. And so that would give them strength to fight through difficult things they were going through. Who knows what that would be. He made you realize that life was special, and that you shouldn't take anything for granted. And so I think he changed a lot of people's lives in that way. It's crazy that this little boy that never spoke, literally tens of thousands of people have been inspired by him to live a more fulfilling and happy life just by watching how he lived his life. All the people that met him or hear his story, and hopefully the people that hear this story will also feel as you will wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? I can do this. I got this. I'm in a very difficult, dark spot, but I got this, and I can fight through this because I heard this story of this boy who did it, and now I know I can.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2022 LWS Open at Idlewild. This is the 9th stop on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and we have BigBarri commentary coming at you. Jeremy Koling, Paul Ulibarri.
That is right. We want to celebrate, though, 400,000 subscribers by the end of July. Subscribe now to help us get there.
We're so close. It's amazing. I remember the 100K party like it was yesterday. This is really amazing, that growth. So thankful for you guys. And let's check out our card. We have the local Zach Arlinghaus, tremendously talented young player who has a ton of power, forehand, backhand, lefty, righty. Chris Dickerson, after his little hiatus from the tour, he's back at it here at Idlewild.
Gavin Rathbun, also a little hiatus as far as injuries go. He got the injury bug, but he is back.
He is always fun to play. Ton of power, really fun form. And Andrew Marwede, the player who lost last year in the playoff to Kyle Klein, but an amazing performance. It'll be exciting to watch him attack this course that he's very comfortable and familiar with. Let's get straight into the action. Hole 1 is one of the easiest holes we're going to have on this course. It's actually the second easiest. It's a par 4, 638 feet, downhill the whole way. Eagle opportunity, but we are dealing with a little bit of a storm, so the tees are going to be a little slick today, a little rainy, a little muddy. Today the play is just to get it inbounds.
And that's going to need to get down because there's that out of bounds line you were talking about. You hit those trees usually, and they're nice little catching mitts. They drop right down.
Usually feels like if you miss those trees, you got a bit unlucky. There's so many of them on the right side there. And this is the mistake you're going to see more players make than going left. You're going to see a lot of players overturn their shots to the right side. It still opens up a potential approach. There is a new out of bounds long on this hole.
Anybody on the card can get there. It's Gavin.
Yeah, I mean, Dickerson has that next level distance too if he needs to, but he is not going to press that aggressive of a shot off the tee on this hole.
Andrew with a buttery little flip to late turn. That'll do.
Needs to get down. Yeah, good touch there from Zach. That can get really fast. As you can see, that green starts to slope downhill right behind the basket. Chris mitigating some of the speed with putting some height on the disc and coming up short, but within 25.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to have those limbs in his way and he's going to have to go to a knee. It's borderline.
Yeah, it's borderline, yeah.
Tough putt.
Marwede going stall, and can that sit down? It does. So close, though. If he's just got a few more feet on that approach, it might go down the hill. And look at that drive from Gavin. It's a huge advantage just to be able to pitch that short approach, and he's going to have a tap-in birdie. Just inside the circle, Marwede's in.
Very good putt. High-rise uphill putts are extremely tough.
Especially the first one of the tournament. Arlinghaus in for the birdie.
Oh, he found a little crevasse right there. Tricky guy. Tricky birdie. Everybody's million under par on hole one. Perfect.
It's to be expected, and we want to take this moment to thank our sponsor for today's coverage. That's FlightFactoryDiscs.com. Thank you for sponsoring our coverage.
It was important for me to partner with a retailer that could help with growing my brand and making my products available all over the country and across the world. Flight Factory has helped me accomplish that. Check out all of my gear and thousands of other discs at Flight Factory.
On to a slightly more difficult hole. Hole 2 is the third hardest hole in the course, so it's very much more difficult. This is a par 4, 601 feet. The play is to throw a forehand or a backhand turnover. You just have to pick one side of that tree, and then from there, if you get to that hillside, you've left with one of the more difficult approaches on the course, a very slanted green from right to left down to the OB water. Oh, Zach.
And this is going to be kind of a thing today.
Yeah.
Slippery course, slippery tee pads. He took a hard fall right there, but he's up in the kind of the garden zone up there.
Chris surprisingly going backhand turnover, but not surprisingly throwing a great shot. That'll be in a good spot. He'd like to have a little bit more distance. Gavin picking the inside route, I believe, but maybe not. It looked inside, but it kept flipping up. That's a huge amount of distance. My goodness.
Yeah, that was blasted.
That road is hard to get to, and he nearly got all the way there. And this is a very nicely committed line from Andrew Marwede. The angle is slight. Do you think it's worse on the left side of the fairway?
Depends. I mean, I think both sides of the fairway call for makeable shots. Like, the farther left you are, I think, then you can play the hyzer down the hill, but then you have to deal with this.
The hyzer down the hill is scary because of that right there. That's why I feel like if you're on the right side of the fairway from the tee pad perspective, you have a slightly better angle to land one potentially flat, like we saw last year with Kyle Klein's shot in the playoff on this hole.
This is your typical spot.
Yep.
Like if you're playing the hole well, I feel like you land there.
Mm-hmm. And then lay your putt up and take a par.
I think he's running that putt.
You think?
That's right just outside the circle.
Marwede will definitely be running that as he is just above the hole, about 25 feet.
Ooh, too flippy.
And that's a layup. You run that one?
No, I don't run that, but no, he's not running that. But I think Arlinghaus might be in the right spot. But he might just lay it up. I mean,
It's a tough call, especially with all the cameras, home tournament.
Oh, you got to run this. This is 30 feet.
Oh, he runs it and he makes it. That's a huge putt. That's a good feeling birdie to take on the difficult hole too.
There's a great shot of it.
Oh.
Yeah, you missed that and you're swimming with the fishes.
That is a lot more risk than it is reward. Oh, no. Chris off the top.
Kind of fortunate he didn't roll back in the water right there. That is a steep slope.
And Marwede coming up a bit low on that birdie attempt. A very common way to miss that type of putt from that high above the basket. You just can't hit the top of these veterans because they will skip and launch you OB. So generally missing low is going to be the common miss to see there. Walk us through this brand new design on hole 3, Paul.
Yeah, par 4, 656 feet, dogleg horseshoe from left to right. So you're going to see a lot of rollers off the tee. You're going to see some forehands. And then this is actually a great green. The approach shot makes you shape something wonderful, like 2 gaps. Really, height is the big factor on that upshot.
There's so many different things to contend with on this hole. I think it's a fantastic change. I do miss the old hole 3, but this is a great replacement in many ways. That's a good distance, but it's too far down the hill.
It's going to play far from there.
I like this more. Minus that. I thought he was around everything. That was so... did you not think that was good?
Why are you rooting against him, man?
All right, sorry.
What is this
Marwede
move?
doesn't go roller.
Or sidearm?
I kind of went roller.
Is he trying a roller?
Don't think so.
But he's got this thing where you do it the other way.
The forehand thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
really. He's got that thing really good.
That was a surprise to me. Dickerson, not surprised at all to see him go roller. Great roller thrower and
Perfect.
a great roller thrown. And that tee pad is a really good spot. Past it is even better. That is an ideal location. From here, Gavin's just trying to find a way where he's not going to be tucked behind that tall grass on his next shot into the green. And I think he should be okay from there. Great camera work to catch that shot as Marwede's gotten around the tall grass with a backhand turnover. That was a fantastic approach.
This could get through for something.
What? How was it rolling forward? What an amazing break for Zach.
Flex forehands, got to beat that right side.
Yeah, he pulled that a little bit left. And he's going to have an obstructed putt from just inside the circle or right around circle's edge. And nice touch. Marwede's birdie look from range. It is going to come up a bit short. What a birdie putt.
Ew.
Awkward stance.
How does he get so much power from that stance? You tell me.
Well, if I could tell you, I'd probably be better at doing it.
No, not how you would try to do it and fail. How did he just do it?
Pull-ups.
Oh, I don't think that's the ticket, guys.
Either way, he's picking up a birdie here on 3, which is a pretty tough birdie to get. Somehow, just under a quarter of the field was able to birdie this brand new design, which I think is pretty impressive. It's a higher number than I would have guessed. And on to a brand new hole 4. This is a par 4, 722 feet, and where that little bit of patch of missing grass, that is a perfect landing zone. If you are too far right, you don't have a shot. If you're too far left, you're going to be either out of bounds or also you don't have a shot. There's a big clearance over water. I think you're trying to get it about 430 to 450 feet off the tee. Looks like Chris has got a mid-range. And indeed he does. He's going with a buzz. And if you have 400 plus with a mid-range, that is the right disc to choose here so you don't get that fade. This is close for Arlinghaus, but this is going to be way too far right. He got that thing on a decent angle, just couldn't get it to hold, and I think he's just going to have to pitch down the hill from there.
You don't think he's got a shot to get over?
I don't think. You're pretty well guarded on that right side.
I'm surprised with the mid-range plays from these guys. I feel like fairway is slow enough you're not going to get to the water, but I also think that the closer you are, the better chance you have.
Yes, and just maybe the fade, mitigating the fade is huge here. But this is a big second shot. There is water just past these trees, and look at the trust for Marwede ripping the shot through the gap to the edge of the circle. That was a very well executed approach. Another highly technical attempt. Is that going to cross the OB line? No, it will not, and that might be a lost disc.
Ah, makes sense now. Bad.
Bad.
Oh?
Huh? Save. Okay, close to getting the same result that Gavin had, but
What a break. I think. I've never been over there.
yeah, none of us have. We're all learning this one for the first time. And Zach having no other options, going to the bottom of the hill, or at least to the other side, and setting up a pretty simple approach shot. He's going to be happy with that.
Provisional. Did you guys see it go in the water?
He did.
Yeah.
I didn't, but someone did.
That's a mistake far too many players have to make once or twice before they learn to always just call provisional. If you don't see the disc and someone says you're out of bounds, you just can't always take their word for it. You just call provisional, save yourself potential practice throw. That's an insanely good birdie.
Yeah, I agree. This time he gets the height right with that putt. He's normally just a fantastic putter.
Mm-hmm. Just out of position. The turnover drive for Marwede just didn't quite have enough height. He definitely lost, I'd say, easily 70 to 100 feet of what he'd like to have off the tee.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then to hit that approach, that is a very nervy shot. And he must have thrown at least 370, if not more, with that second shot to get to the edge of the circle and then making that putt. So that was a huge birdie.
Yeah, somewhere in between probably 360 and 700 feet.
Somewhere in that range. On to hole 5, par 3, 432 feet. really only one way for the right-hand backhand player to attack this one for the birdie, and it's going to be an overstable driver thrown with Anheuser up the hill and let it flex back down the hill. Other than that, you'll see a lot of safe shots just to play for the par.
This, I don't think this is it.
It's got to put the brakes. Oh my. Oh. Well, at least it's dry.
Yeah, almost did a little love dance back into the
I thought it was going to be
safe zone, yeah.
And Chris, see how that just continuously drifts? Oh my gosh. No way. You will not see one closer.
Wow. That's a really, I want to say it's a bad break, but it's really not. You can't be hyzering back at that basket. There's some nice power there.
Yeah, Arlinghaus. Yeah, being a lefty with the power to get there here is a huge advantage.
Better.
And it's just that's the safe play. That's the one that if you make a mistake, you're at least in bounds up the hill. But if you're trying to go at it, you know the options are relatively going to be 4 most likely, and sometimes you get lucky and get the 2. Okay.
I think he did a shooter, McGavin, too. Right here.
Oh, nice.
Shooter. Okay.
All right.
Very good. Just very, very good. Not only to make the putt, of course, but to catch a bad break like that, kind of a bad break where I know, Jesus.
Okay. What's going on? All right, let's go. This is awesome.
But when you go out of bounds on a shot like that where you almost make a 1.
Yeah. And your disc could not be, if it was a millimeter closer to being in bounds, you just get a birdie right there.
Exactly. And then and then to make it, I mean, just shows that
takes
mental,
poise.
Mental fortitude for sure.
Hole 6, Paul.
Hole 6, par 4, 555 feet. Lots of sidearms off the tee, lots of rollers. You'll have this winding little creek on the left-hand side to an island green. Forgot we have a lefty on the card.
That's good width for Arlinghaus. You're just trying to miss that big tree at the bottom, and obviously you're trying to miss those little skinny ones as well. But that big one seems to collect a lot of really good shots.
Yeah, this island green is only about what would you say, 20 feet by 45 feet?
Yeah, maybe like 30 feet from front to back, but you only have like 15 feet from OB to the basket on both sides.
This is high enough on the hill that if it gets past, he could have a little look.
Yeah, a little redirection from that tree there.
That's great.
Those are going to be in that quasi-awkward second shot range. Now, this one has the juice. This has the goods right here, folks. Oh my gosh. Just outside C2, maybe even in C2. Oh my goodness, that is huge.
This is tight.
What I like about this hole, though, is that you can play your layup shot. Look at that. Andrew's playing it safe, short, but he's just barely outside the circle.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go for the island, but it draws you into it. As Arlinghaus goes for it, but look at that. The backside, there is no wall. He crawls OB. He can't believe it.
Yeah, there's a little gap right there. You can hit.
Mm-hmm.
You can hit those little logs, and it can stop you. But right where Arlinghaus went, no logs to stop you.
This is pin high.
Give it to him.
Oh, great effort. Marwede. This guy's putter is on fire, and look at the signature move. The Cookie Monster strikes again, folks.
He's got a cookie again.
It's a lot of mud on the ground to eat the cookie after drilling the putt, but I mean, it's not a signature move if you don't pull it out every once in a while. These guys are lighting up the basket right now.
Yeah, it's so big to him. All right, there's a good birdie for Dickerson.
That's a good traditional looking birdie.
Yeah.
On hole 6. The nice roller. You don't get many shots that went as far as Gavin's there. That was nearly perfect. I mean, he was almost looking to hit one of those last trees to stop it, to give himself, a 50-foot luck for the eagle. But either way, a lot of really good birdies there, and 1 par for Zach as we move to hole 7, a par 4. Uphill, very tight window off the tee. It is imperative to make that gap. If you don't hit that gap, I don't care where your disc goes, you go out of bounds. That's just the way it works here at hole 7. If you do, you go to a drop zone that's nearly impossible to save your par. So you have to hit this gap. Step 1 achieved. Now from there, that side hill is going to be muddy and slippery and very difficult to throw from.
It's a bit inside. Gonna need help. No help. Better, but this will go too far.
Yep. Distance and accuracy have to come together and be perfect on this one. If you do not get that distance right, it's just as bad as going to the drop zone in some ways. Was that
a little
tree direction? A double tree direction.
Where they are, that is like more of a par.
Yep.
But you're fine with that. Kinda.
Did Chris? Oh, he almost got all the way through. There's one tiny gap. There's the main fairway, and there's one tiny gap on the left side of that fairway that sometimes players go through on their way up to the pin from the drop zone. But Chris, he's going to have some distance left for the par. That's a fantastic effort.
Going to be a really tricky putt, but I like you said, I like the angle. I like the effort. Imagination checks out. That one's not going to be friendly. Gives up on the sidearm roller approach, and
great angle control.
Great. Yeah. Oh, get out of there.
That was awkward. Had to throw kind of the nose up. It's not your traditional angle.
Right.
And he did a great job with that. Marwede's got the easy par locked up. And Chris again. Oh my word. Like he hasn't taken a day off. He's played one A tier and then like one unsanctioned event since the last time we saw him on coverage.
I'm thinking he's been practicing the putt because it looks good.
Yeah. And that's one of the first misses we've seen inside the circle. Aside from Marwede's scary putt on hole 2, it's been pretty solid on the putting green for this card thus far.
Bunch of double G throw-ins. Ask me.
And a par for Zach.
unbelievable stuff from Paul McVeigh.
Hole 8, par 5, but 576 feet. One of the shortest par 5s you will ever see, but a very tricky right to left angle. From there, you're going up this hill and then entering the woods once again with a very tight approach. Flex forehand going down to this hill. A lot of eagles usually happen on this hole, but if you get caught up early, it can be very difficult. Marwede did not get caught up early.
Perfect angle, gets through everything.
And that sets up a hyzer approach.
Yeah, with maybe a putter.
Dickerson with a little bit more angle, a little bit more overstable, but the ceiling is not
That was
usually
helpful.
Yeah, I think that was fading back into the bad stuff. Usually you don't see too many shots that high of a release on this hole.
Yeah, because they're usually on that cut angle, so they're diving to the ground, trying to flex out.
This hole, oh my goodness, that's a really nice shot from Gavin. This hole 10 years ago, half the players would be throwing forehand, and it would show why it is a par 5. But with the way that the tour has picked up the forehand on all angles, not just the forehand hyzer, shapes like this are pretty easily manipulated by these players. Not an easy hole to throw a backhand off the tee.
Is it just me or does Gavin look like way wetter than the rest of the crew? He looks drenched.
It is humid. It is just endlessly humid out here in the Cincinnati area, Burlington, Kentucky specifically. Marwede's second shot going long with a rollback. He's going to have an eagle look coming up.
Wow.
Oh, even shorter than I thought. Yeah, that's a great shot from Marwede. And Chris, that is the difficulty on this hole. If you get in a bad spot after one or two shots, it's so hard to navigate that last approach to the green.
And that's why I think he's been wet. That's like his fourth shot, sidearm in the bushes, you know, and it has rained off and on all day. Rained or sprinkled off and on all day.
Do you think this is the hardest par 4 on the course or the easiest par 5? As Chris misses his long birdie putt. What say you, Paul?
It would be the hardest par 4.
No. Yeah, at 4.61 average, that's a very difficult par 4. But Arlinghaus paying the price for hitting metal and not going in, rolling down the hill. Marwede, meanwhile, has this putt to get to 5 under on the front 9. And he's just been smooth the whole round. I mean, he's missed a couple putts, and now he's 5 under through 8.
And he's been chowing down on some cookies, man. He's been dropping them in. Couple misses, like you said, but a couple really nice putts. If it wasn't so wet,
Yeah.
this would be like the most scoreable this course has ever played, I feel like. But it's so wet.
The front 9 is, I think, a lot more scoreable than the back 9. I feel like if you give a 1,000 rated player 50 rounds out here, they're going to get more birdies overall in the front 9 than they are the back 9. Almost, I feel like more times than not.
Yes.
Do you agree with that or no?
It's I don't know, toss-up.
A little bit of a toss-up?
Yeah, I think styles of play might come into that too.
well, hole 9 is a style of play that Chris Dickerson has enjoyed in the past with a backhand turnover with the famous no celebration ace, something that James Conrad has also done, minus the celebration part.
I think just because 17 and 18 are on the back nine, you're 100% true.
Yep. Marwede just coming in with some steam there. A good break there to hit the back edge tree and keep his birdie look close.
One time.
Surprised we've seen the 2 backhand turnover aces and not a single forehand ace yet.
I've never even heard of the forehand ace yet on it. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's a bad kick. It's gonna be a tough little approach for him. Here is Chris. Lean
Wow.
out, stable.
Awkward.
That was a tight window too.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good stuff. Catches the corner. Sit.
This could,
Sit.
yeah, easily roll, but not too bad, but
Still going to be low ceiling.
more than you'd like. And Gavin, that's a tough putt. Nearly made it. Just needed just a bit more nose up. And this putt for Marwede to get to 6 under on the front 9. You bet.
So smooth. It goes in with a just the
Wow.
perfect pace.
And he's always stoic on the course. There's never a time when you see Marwede play poorly or play great where he's ever going to be different than that right there. And that's going to be back-to-back bogeys for Zach Arlinghaus to finish the front 9. It's always tough to play at home.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he had a great start. He was about 4 inches from being 4 down at this point, you know. It's off the top, misses the one coming back. And then that bogey. It seems like that's the way that it goes sometimes. It's like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm 3 under. I'm going to get the easy par 5, catch the one down the hill, and then all of a sudden 2 bogeys, and you're like, wow, it's over.
Well, Marwede has done what 3 other players have done as well in the front 9, with shooting 6 under, leading the field through the first 9. And a slew of other players shooting 5 down. Great starts on this course. Back 9. Oh, seeing that again. Yeah, ouch. The back 9 has so many fun holes, so many difficult holes, a lot of woods, a lot of elevation change, some great winding creeks, and obviously one of the most famous difficult holes on tour with hole 18. Got 9 more holes from the first round coming right up. We'll see you in a bit.